Emma by Jane Austen. Okay, so I think out of all of the Jane Austen books I own, this is the largest. To be fair, though, the introduction, as I said last time, that's the introduction, this little part. And so I mean, it's shorter than it looks, but still. It was published in 1815 by, of course, Jane Austen, the basically the queen of English romance. There have been some very, very good BBC adaptations, and I would 100% get behind you watching them because BBC adaptations are perfection in every single way. I love the BBC. So let's dive into the book here. I remembered Emma being a very silly character. Basically, what happens is Emma is our main character. She's kind of rich. Her dad, her mom died a long time ago, and so she's always kind of been the lady of the house, especially since her sister got married, I would say pretty early. But anyway, and her sister's a lot older than her. So anyway, Emma's kind of always been this very independent, very just independent, and she takes care of the house, and she does what she wants. She's not really worried about getting married, but she still loves romance, and so she is always kind of trying to get into everybody else's business, their romantical business. She views herself as a matchmaker. She views herself very much as being good at understanding people and good at understanding romance. Thing is, though, she's terrible at that. There is not one instance in this book where she gets something right, where she interprets what people are feeling correctly. It's ridiculous. I don't know where she got this idea that she is this love guru, but okay, so the character of Emma, because okay, there's the first thing that we don't like about her. She's ridiculous because she thinks that she's this great person, but she's not. Secondly, she's super lazy. Yeah, I mean, just the beginning when this doesn't really carry on much in the book after this, but it just goes on and on about how she doesn't like reading. She doesn't like doing all this housework stuff. She doesn't like, needlework or anything else. She isn't really good at music or anything else. She's just like, I don't know what she does all day. She just sits around in her pretty house and she goes on walks in her pretty gardens, and I assume she like orders around her servants. So okay, she is thinks way too highly of herself, and she's lazy, and also she's super like, because it's got all this class stuff in it, right? Because this is England in the 1800s, and so it's like, oh, this person is in the upper class, and this person is like on the edge of the upper class, but sort of not, and then this other character is really in like the lower sort of class, and I mean, so she's all wrapped up in this stuff. She's constantly talking about classes and like, oh, I'm not sure if I should associate with this person because that person is not quite in my class and blah, blah, blah. So she's super terrible about that too. And honestly, the only nice thing she does, I'm going on and on about this, aren't I? Honestly, the only nice thing she does is she befriends this other girl who's in like this neighboring girls like the school for girls, and they don't really know anything about her class, and Emma is sure that she, because she's pretty, is sure that she comes from some fine, noble, upstanding home, even though they literally have no clue where she's from, which is a huge red flag, right? You would think, oh, there must be something wrong if her parents literally will not associate with her. It's like, ugh, Emma, I don't like her as a character. And so this automatically puts me on edge. And there's not really that many other important characters. You have Jane Fairfax who comes, and Emma hates her. You have this other girl named this other dude named Frank Churchill who comes, and he's really unlikable too, because even though he likes Emma and he has this whole thing for Emma, he's mean to other people, really mean. And Emma joins in and is mean to other people with him, which makes you hate her all the more. And it's like, ugh! And so, I mean, it was fine. I was enjoying this book for a while, okay? It's interesting to read about this super flawed person, you know, who gets everything wrong always. It's fine, and like the meetings and everything, and I mean, they tell you Jane Austen, for some reason, made this a really wordy novel. Just goes into everything. But then the ending happens, and the ending is what super made me angry. Even worse than I was before. Because, like, alright, spoilers. If you want to read this book, I'm going to spoil the ending for you. And it is a surprise ending. So, what happens is that this girl that I told you about, who Emma has befriended, even though she's probably not of the same class, she falls in love with this older dude named Mr. Knightley. Mr. Knightley has always kind of been around. He's really like a fatherish sort of figure for Emma, which makes it really, really weird when Harriet, the friend, says, "Oh, I like Mr. Knightley," and Emma kind of turns and is like, "But I like Mr. Knightley," and it's like, she didn't realize that before until that very moment, okay? She hadn't, like, this is completely out of the blue. You're like, oh my gosh, she likes Mr. Knightley? Why? Like, because literally, okay, I have to keep going. So then Mr. Knightley comes that same day, or like the next day. I can't remember, like the timing is weird. But anyway, he comes like the next day, or literally the same day, and comes beside her and like walks along with her, and they've never really had a private conversation ever before. And he's suddenly like, "I was hoping that maybe you would like me, even though, you know, I've been a very indifferent lover." They haven't loved each other at all. And he talks about how he has blamed her and has lectured her. And I'm like, yes, you have, because you're basically a father figure to her. Like, what is going on? It's stupid, and it made me upset. So anyway, so it's like the coincidence of them both feeling this way at the same time, and then how it's just sorry. I didn't realize how much I disliked this until I started talking about it. But it makes me have very, very, it's better than Carry On, Mr. Bowdish, because at least it made me have emotional feelings. But it's just frustrating because the romance doesn't make sense. The characters you don't like, and it's, so there. That's Emma for you. My first super negative review. I love Jane Austen, but this is not one of her great works. Sorry. The BBC adaptation is good for what it is, which is an adaptation of this, which doesn't make much sense. Alrighty, moving on from that, we're gonna have good things happen. I'm pretty sure. I remember really liking this book. It's tiny and it's got a long. I'm not even gonna try to say the. I'm not even gonna try to say the title. It's that, and it's a kid book, and I don't remember what it's about. I think it's about kids in a library or something. Anyway, so I'll figure that out and read it, and I'll review it for you, and hopefully it'll be better than this one was. I'm sorry, I just went on a total rant about it. I didn't realize. Anyway, I'm gonna stop now. I'll see you all later.